And my brothers and sisters, I think you as 21st century Christians, if you really saw how much Jesus had to go through in order for you and I just to be saved, we may not be so casual with our Christianity. See, y'all love to sing certain songs like, he was wounded for me, wounded for me. He was wounded for me. But watch it if you were there. Y'all like to sing songs like, I know it was the blood. Oh yeah, the pastor told me he liked Sister Jameson to sing that after communion. He told me y'all like to rock with it, y'all like to clap with it. But if you really saw the blood, I mean, if you really talk about and sing those songs like, hey, at the cross, where I first, you wouldn't have seen no light on that day, because the moon dripped away in blood. The S-U-N had to run and hide because the S-O-N was finally lifted up. And the Bible says that Jesus once upon a time in his earthly ministry said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men. You want to talk about what you would have seen? You would have saw him suffering. You would have saw him bleeding. Watch this. People died because of the cross. You really had to see what he went through. I know y'all like to talk about there's power, wonder-working power in the blood of the Lamb. It's one thing to talk about. It's another thing to see it. And maybe if you saw it, you wouldn't be so casual with your commitments. You say he could have came back, but he would not have come back. You mean to tell me that if you could really see him bleeding, suffering, all because he was on that cross, I think you wouldn't look at your alarm clock on Sunday morning and say, oh, I'm going to be 5 minutes late, I'll just catch it next week. And watch this, not only did Jesus die on the cross, there were followers of his who believed so much in the cross that churches that met in homes were broken up because of the cross. Disciples were beheaded because of the cross. Some were even crucified upside down, all because of the cross. And I know, and I've seen some of your entertainers, some of your athletes, and even just some regular folk with tattoos of the cross on their arms and on their bodies. But if you really understood what the cross was, if you really understood what the cross is, that Cicero, my brothers and sisters, called crucifixion the most extreme form of punishment. Crucifixion, watch this, my brothers and sisters, it was not done in secrecy. That's why it was on a hill where they led him. Because the Romans wanted everybody to see. Because the cross was a deterrent. And when you saw somebody on the cross, watch this, hanging there for days, gasping for breath as their lungs expired. That's what Jesus had to go through. And you mean to tell me that you and I are just so casual with the cross? That's why that man by the name of George Bernard, he had great theology and proper understanding of the cross when he said, on a hill far away, watch how he described it, an old watch it, he said it was the emblem. Watch it, not of a fashion